Welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. I'm Craig Hearn, and with me at the kids' table, right behind you, is Nate and Brooks. We'll get to them in a second. All right, lots of soccer to talk about. We're doing our recap, as usual, of the weekend of everything soccer. There's some great goals scored. There's some great games we hope you watched. Join along in the comments. Go ahead. We'll call them out. We'll read them out if we see anything good. I think we need to start off today by saying soccer, 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 because that's what it's now called after Jesse Marsch and his Leeds team embarrasses Chelsea. What a game they had. Some great results. I tell you what, I am so sick and tired of the English press and the Ted Lasso references. Sick and tired of it. Hopefully this stops it. Long way to go. We're only 3 matches in, but hey, man, he just beat Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea with the 2 American players who are working their butts off and scoring goals as well. So we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, Brooks, Nate, how you doing, boys? We have a good weekend. You watched a lot of soccer?
MLS, 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 which I think stands for... Was it Major Leeds United?
Major Leeds Soccer is what they're saying.
Yeah, Leeds Soccer. I can't spell. Yeah.
Yes.
There we go, baby.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, I know you were coaching this weekend. A little tired.
Is that what we call it?
That's what we call it.
All right. Yeah, no, definitely was. Big Jacks tournament. Lots of action going on. A lot of good stuff. How did your kids do? They did all right? They have fun?
Out of the 6 games that my kids had this weekend, we won 1.
Wow, it's just kind of like how when I talk to kids and I ask how they did, they always go to the overall team result. So how'd your kids do, Mr. Hearn?
One
and
child.
Did they have fun, which isn't related to winning games?
One child had fun, did very well, scored a game-winning goal in one of the games, in the one game that we did win. The other child, not so well. He was walking on the field a little bit, so he got chewed out by me and his mom. Yeah. So that was my weekend. Nate, Brooks, how was your weekend, buddy?
Oh man. So last night I celebrated. So my friends who I work out with at Orange Theory, they did a challenge called 75 Hard.
Look at those guns.
Explain that. What is this?
So 75 Hard is a challenge where you can't drink for 75 days any alcohol. You can't eat like poorly processed food, sugars, like you're eating like healthy, like very healthy food. You have to read 10 pages a night, do 2 workouts a day. So there's a whole list of stuff you have to do. And they just completed this 75-day challenge. So yesterday was the last day. Or technically Friday was. So then Saturday we all went out and celebrated. So we went out and we,
got down with some beers,
food, alcohol. They're a little karaokeing too. I karaoke.
They literally unwind all hard work they did.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I don't know if it's as difficult as what Nate did, but No,
I don't. No.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a great weekend, and as it comes to an end here, we got a lot of soccer to talk about. Let's jump in. Obviously, the Premier League is what we focus on a lot for the beginning of our show. Some great results this weekend. Obviously, we talked about the one today was Jesse Marsch. Brandon Aronson, just dominating Chelsea. That game, for me, Chelsea, to be honest, could have been up 3-0 themselves in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Sterling missed 1 or 2 sitters. They got a little unlucky with some offsides here and there. And then Leeds just took advantage and went to town. And once that happened, once Leeds put 2 balls in the back of the net, Chelsea looked like they were a different team. But this game was back and forth, fun to watch. And the Americans are doing well. Yeah. There was something, I believe it was our friend Patty Miller, who's a huge Leeds fan, said today. He saw something that said, they
were chanting USA, by the way.
Were they really?
I read something. They were chanting US when Aronson came off the field.
So, and then also that piggybacks to Sargent's performance as well, and the championship, second tier English league, where I believe at the end of the game, because he had a brace, They were playing Born in the USA.
Get out of
Totally
here,
speaking.
really?
Yeah, I see
England
that.
embracing Americans? What have we
What
come
is
to?
going on here? I don't understand it.
Wow.
I mean, it's
It's the end times. Cats and dogs getting along.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really like how the American flag was being walked around the field at the end of the game.
Oh, with Tyler Adams?
Yeah,
Around him?
Tyler Adams was that kind of like. Listen, I get it when it happens when you win a race, in track and field, when you're competing against other countries, when you are in the World Cup and you win a game. I get that, but in a just a regular league game where you're playing in another country and you just happen to be I don't agree with that. I thought that was a little silly and a bit much, but very interesting. I do love that Tyler Adams is covering so much ground.
He's doing what he unfortunately what he got kicked out of doing at Leipzig because they might have just changed a different direction. But
Not got kicked out. There was better
he got pushed out.
He
finally.
got pushed
He got
out.
pushed out.
He got pushed out.
And I think Jesse Marsch just really can rely on someone. Obviously, he was in the Red Bull system, so when Jesse was at NYRB, so knowing Tyler Adams and I think part of it too is a Jesse Marsch is I've talked to people that have that are from England and that area and they know soccer very well. Where there's sometimes you want people within a locker room to tell you kind of what's going on, especially people so you can understand who's having a fit, who's not. What's the camaraderie like amongst guys? I mean, you need players to tell you that and to communicate with you because you can't fix problems if you don't have that information. I think that's what Aronson and Adams can bring a little bit too with their trust in Jesse Marsch. So
Right, and I love the fact that he trusts them and put them right in the starting lineup, and they are, let's be honest, there was a little bit of a maybe they won't do so well.
I thought Aronson was always going to do well. I thought Aronson was, based on his performance in Salzburg and based on how much they liked him and based on that performance, it's the same thing in the Champions League against Munich, particularly during that match where he was very, very good. I thought there was a strong possibility Aronson would do well. Adams, I think he's doing well. Let's see if he can be consistent at it and continue to do well because he was hot and cold at Leipzig. Now, as for Marsch, well, I think I texted you guys, and I believe I owe a bit of an apology.
Yeah, here comes the big apology that we've been touting all day. All right, Nate, go ahead. Who do you need to apologize to, and what for?
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this moment with sincerity to extend my formal apology to one Mr. Jesse Marsch. I know he listens and watches, is very active in various soccer forums, and probably has overheard me say numerous times he wasn't successful in Leipzig in a system that was tailored for him, so why would he be successful here? Clearly, I have been mistaken, at least for now. I am definitely wrong, and he is definitely performing well. And I would go to say, and I know Craig and I get in this argument a lot. Brooks agrees with me 100% because he loves Klinsmann. I said that
I hate Klinsmann.
Oh, I thought you said I ain't Klinsmann, as in you weren't as great as him. I'm sorry. I heard ain't. My bad. So Brooks is also wrong with the Klinsmann analogy. I have always said that I thought Klinsmann was great for the American program. I thought he was decent and put a lot of good things. I'm going to say this now. I think what Jesse Marsch is doing is possibly the best, hands down, the best thing that has ever happened to the American soccer, American football, whatever the hell you want to call it, program, hands down. He is performing in the best league in the world. He took a risk. That was a risk, taking these two players that weren't marquee players who are performing, and if it continues to do well, he is very much proving himself, and it's different than other American coaches. Stuttgart has an American coach as well. This coach, though, he was trained. He came up through the German system. Marsch is a product of the American soccer system coming up from the Red Bulls Academy.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I think
it's a little early to say it's probably the best that's ever happened in American within coaching. Within the world.
Today,
it's a little early. With 3 games into a premiership season.
Well, hold on. We're not 3 games into the premiership. He wasn't hired at the beginning of the season. He prevented them to be relegated last season, right?
I wouldn't say he 100% prevented them from being relegated.
Did he have a part in it?
He absolutely
They
had a
were in
part. He
trouble.
saved them. He had a part in it, yes.
Now he's off to an exceptionally good start. Now, I agree with you if it goes tits up and like that's it, 3 wins and then they get relegated. All right. But so far, the players he brought in are performing.
Yep.
And Leeds are performing very well. So far, and if this continues, he is really putting in groundwork. What was a joke, nicknaming him and tagging him to basically a comedy spoof,
correct,
has now turned out to be kind of egg in the face. And you know what's nice is when you hear him in interviews, he kind of runs with it too. He kind of self-jabs at himself. You know, they were talking about the handshake. Or you're going to... He
100% does.
Yeah, and he
it's
goes,
great to see. He has a sense of humor about it. Absolutely.
And he plays off it. And I think that's great. You know, it's keep it up and then let your performance silence the critics. And the rest will be the rest. So
far, he's been able to silence everybody because he's had a masterclass. We'll look at the league standings in a little bit here. The other game I want to kind of chat about today that happened was Manchester City visiting Newcastle. I don't know if you boys got a chance to watch this game, but for me, game of the season so far. Absolute game of the season. Manchester City and Gundogan scored in the 5th minute, and they look like they're about to run rampant. It looks like they're going to score at will, and everybody's going to get on the score sheet today for Manchester City. And then Eddie Howe and his Newcastle team, with Almiron in it, by the way, who played with...
Is he back playing?
Yeah, I mean, played at Atlanta United, right? Did very well, then went over to Newcastle. I don't rate him very highly, by the way. He is...
I don't know if he's EPL material for a lot of coaches.
But today, man, he looked at... he scored a goal off his thigh as he was falling over, the tying goal, which went to VAR, and several minutes later it came back, and it was actually a goal. In Newcastle, they went up 3-1. They scored 3 straight goals on the EPL defending champions. Amazing. St. Maximum for Newcastle had his way with the Man City defenders. Up and down the left side of the field. Unbelievable. Crossing left to right. I think the 2 best players, minus Maximum to be honest, St. Maximum, the 2 best players on the field were the goalies. They both were outstanding. Ederson and Pope. Absolutely outstanding in this game. Game of the season, absolutely by far. Haaland comes back, scores the second goal, and then Man City get a third to equalize. For the last 10 minutes, it was back and forth. Any team could have won it. The goalies came up with some big saves. What an absolute stunning game.
Fun fact with Jesse Marsch. I'm sorry, I'm going back.
Yeah, all right.
He was actually a volunteer assistant at Northwestern University at one point.
Wait, he was a volunteer assistant?
In 2001. At Northwestern University.
At Northwestern?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guess who watched me play? Jesse Marsch. I don't know how he didn't bring
This
me
just
to
involves
Why hasn't he brought me to Leeds? I don't get it.
United picks up Craig Hearn. They turned in a toaster and a couple jars of jam for a transfer fee.
Well, you know what? I did rate him highly as a coach, but I don't anymore because obviously he didn't bring me over to his teams in the Leeds, which he should.
This is the days when he was with the Chicago Fire and he was playing towards the end of his career. So like a lot of guys like Walker Zimmerman, very common when he was playing for LAFC. He was a volunteer assistant at UCLA. Jonathan Bornstein's a volunteer assistant at Northwestern right now who plays for Chicago Fire. So it's nice to see those guys kind of volunteering their time to help the collegiate guys.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick look right now at the results from the EPL from this past weekend. So as we said, Leeds-Chelsea, 3-0 to Leeds. West Ham and Brighton, 2-0 to Brighton. This game was at West Ham. West Ham, now 3 games into the season, haven't scored a goal. After all they did last year, they haven't scored a goal this year. They are not in a good position. David Moyes has to get it figured out. They could be in trouble. My daughter's coach, Jason Umpleby, big fan of West Ham, so I hope they don't win a game all year. Not that I don't like Jay, but at least I get to kind of poke him and rib him about that, right? Like we said the other game, Newcastle 3, Man City 3. Game of the year so far for me. Yesterday's games, Spurs 1, Wolves 0. Harry Kane pops up with a winner there. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 1. We'll move on. Just Aston Villa doing what Aston Villa do. They went into Crystal Palace. They went into Selhurst Park. They actually scored 5 minutes in, a very nice goal. And then the Villa just decided that defense was something they just wanted to not do that day. They just decided, I don't know, I don't really feel like playing defense today. Tyrone Mings wasn't very good. Digne was crap.
Did Chris Richards start that game?
I don't know if he started, actually.
For Crystal Palace.
He might have. We have to check that. But the Villa were just crap, and Crystal Palace could have had 7 or 8. The Villa did come back and hit a crossbar, but overall, defensively, just poor. Steven Gerrard has a big task on his hands now, and I don't know how he's going to get that fixed.
Chris Richards didn't start it.
But got in at the 90th clutch minute.
To waste some time.
Him and Ricardo Pepi.
Yeah. Ricardo Pepi. We'll get into that argument a little later.
Well,
who should be the men's U.S. men's national team striker? We'll get into that a little later. So
It's
Villa
not an
downed.
argument. Oh boy. Here
Villa
we go.
downed 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 3, Brentford 2. Fulham and Mitrovic doing really well this year. Very, very well.
What a goal. What a header goal from
Yeah,
him.
man. But that's what Mitrovic does. Pops up and scores goals. And I think now that this is his 3rd time back in the Premiership, he's going to get the job done this year. I fully expect Fulham to be mid-table.
Did Tim Ream play? I mean, Jedi Robinson probably played.
No, I
right?
mean they've both been playing as starters, so I wouldn't be
America
surprised.
the Beautiful.
And yes, they are.
NBL.
Ream
Watch
played,
out,
and
England.
guess what? Ream, if you didn't know, is also the captain of that team.
Yep.
I think America's
Has
telling
been for a couple
England
years
it's
now,
not coming home this World Cup. I think
Whoa,
that's what America's
it's
telling them.
coming home.
You have several players in several leagues that are actually performing very, very well, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I think, especially when I cover the coveted Bundesliga.
Bundesliga chat time with Nate.
Boom.
Love it.
You know it's also awesome, even though your Villa lost and all sorts of teams crapped the bed.
What is awesome, Nate?
You want to know who didn't lose?
Stuttgart.
Shut up. It's a soft spot, and we're not there yet, Brooks.
Sorry.
Man United didn't lose. Yes! Winning the league, baby! We didn't lose this weekend! Woo! Woo!
Oh, Man United. Well, they do play tomorrow in a big game.
That's the new week. Monday starts the day of the new week, so you're done. Undefeated this week. Week is over.
Undefeated
Week
this week,
is
but not in match day
over.
3. Yes.
I don't know what that is. I only count weeks. Undefeated this week.
Let's talk.
Undefeated this week.
Let's talk about the game that's going to happen next week for Man United as Liverpool come calling.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but hold on. Liverpool's been also shit in the
Yeah,
bed,
Liverpool
too.
hasn't been good. Absolutely.
Two juggernauts that were awesome will go and crap on the field for you.
Liverpool has not been good, but
Two supporters going, remember when all match long for you?
just an FYI, in case anybody doesn't know, there are reported fan protests due to happen tomorrow
Why?
at Old Trafford.
We assigned another like old Real Madrid guy. So
Is that not keeping all the fans happy?
Does this not entertain you? This is the Glazers. Are you not entertained?
They spent money. They spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on
That's
it.
what happens when you're not playing for anything.
So there shouldn't be fan protests, right?
yeah,
Because they just
sure,
spent a
right.
lot of money
If I
on
was both fan bases, I'd just protest out of principle.
both.
Both.
Oh, so
Both.
that's part of the problem. That's actually part of the problem because Man United fans, supporters have come out and said we're gonna protest.
Yeah.
So you know what Liverpool fans are gonna do? Liverpool fans are gonna buy up and go protest with Man United and act like hooligans and get the.
No, this is where the world comes together, Craig. Both supporter groups are gonna just join hand in hand, singing "Kumbaya" and our teams are shit, like for a good 90 minutes, and then go
club.
home. What?
Liverpool United.
Yeah. Yes.
Manchester.
Mega.
Oh,
I don't think we'll ever see those two clubs working
we
together.
just pissed off two major fan bases. Right now, both of them are like, "Fuck these guys." Now, I will say this, though. Everyone
They're
should
both
be...
red, so it's okay.
What?
Close.
Red.
The Reds are close enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
and everyone should just, recognize that the only reason why Liverpool is great is because their coach hails from the Stuttgart area. So
The Stuttgart area.
all things roll through Stuttgart.
We do have before we jump into the Man United Liverpool game, we do have a question from Michael Tyson on Facebook. He wants us to predict where we think Leeds could finish up the season.
Oh, first, USA, back world champs. Boom, pissed off everyone in the world. Oh!
And that's what Nate does.
Yes.
In all honesty, I think Leeds will end up finishing probably anywhere 8th to 12th. I think they are in a great spot. They are lucky to escape relegation last year. They've made some great signings, but here's the problem. They lost Rafinha. They lost Calvin Phillips. They replaced them with good players who are inexperienced and right now are just running on pure exuberance and excitement.
Yeah.
When the long, hard season starts to take its toll and an injury or two builds up, the losses could start mounting because they need reinforcements. Right. Leeds have not spent a ton of money on reinforcements. Those losses will mount up. I do think at the very best they'll finish 8th. The worst, I'm going to go say 12th. What says you, boys?
I think, and this goes back into this year's all messed up because of the World Cup. And the less World Cup players you have playing,
Absolutely,
the more rest you get and the better you're going to do. And I truly hope, whatever you want to do, hopey thinky, whatever. Hopey thinky. I would love to see that team. I'd love to see only that team because everyone's like, you're a United fan, you're supposed to. Okay, got it, shut up. I am a Marsh supporter. I do like USA men's team. I did like Marsh, I hope they qualify for the Europa, and I think that'd be a great success for them, if you ask me. Which you did, so.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Leeds could be a top 10 team. Now the question is with Jesse Marsh, what Marcel Bielsa never did is Marcel Bielsa never took his foot off the pedal he always continued to play. We're always doing this no matter where we are, how many guys we have.
Great point. It was one
gear.
One gear.
We went Mach
all
10
in,
all the time.
all in. Yeah, all the.
Will Jesse Marsh go Mach 10 all the time?
Hold
and
on.
that'll be the difference between, I think, him finishing top 10 and then saying maybe in 12th, like you said.
I don't think he will because he has experience competing in multiple competitions all at once from Salzburg. So Salzburg was
Not to say
Champions
Bielsa
League.
didn't, but Bielsa just had one gear. But I'm going to agree with you both. I'm agreeing.
I'm sorry. What was the multiple tournaments that Leeds were permitting in when he was playing?
What do you mean? They were in the FA Cup. They were in the Moose Cup. They were in the division.
But they weren't.
The small league cups, as I say.
Right.
Yes.
But Marsh was in the domestic, in the other domestic tournament too, and the Champions League, and managed all those with Salzburg. That's my point. He was in bigger outside tournaments with more travel.
No, that's fair, but I think Jesse Marsh is someone that's not going to be like Bielsa and go Mach 10 all the time.
Oh, yeah, no,
we're
on the same
always playing this way.
Brooks, we're on the same page, and that's where we're.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
We do have another question from someone.
Look at that. The boys at the kids' table speaking intelligently.
We always do.
It's crazy. It's crazy to hear. All right.
It just makes us change our minds all the time.
Absolutely.
What's the other question that we now have? And who's it from?
So my homie Khaled wants to know because nobody watches this. We're just gonna shoot it out there. Does Barcelona have a chance at Champions League? Have a chance of winning it? Barcelona. Since we are on Rafinha and Rafinha went over there, that's and they.
Are they all registered now?
Yeah, they all registered, I believe.
There is one player who is not yet registered, by the way, for them.
So I'm going to go no.
Yeah.
And here's why, because there's only one team winning that league, and it's Munich. Go on.
We will get to Bayern Munich in a couple minutes because they are on an absolute tear this year.
Oh, yeah.
They are doing very well, and we do need to talk about them.
Oh, yeah.
Even without Robert Lewandowski.
Don't need him.
Don't need him. Absolutely. Absolutely don't need him. One thing we haven't mentioned is, yet, Captain America.
Yeah.
Mr. Christian Pulisic. He has officially, I want to say, less than 10 days now before the transfer window closes. He, again, was subbed in today. Chelsea went with a different starting lineup. He did not make the starting lineup. Conor Gallagher made that starting lineup, and it did not work. Christian Pulisic is starving for minutes. Yeah. There's a picture right now floating around Facebook where at the end of the Chelsea Leeds game, he's standing at center field talking to Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson.
Yeah, Jesse Marsh went over to talk to him too.
Yeah.
Actually, Michael had a comment in Facebook. He asked if those Leeds USA players are starting and finding success, what does that mean for Pulisic? So I don't think it changes the narrative. I think he's always going to start. But Tim Weah just got an ankle injury, so I think that could easily pop Aronson into that right winger spot, or
sure.
if they wanted to play somewhere else. But I think no matter what, Pulisic doesn't get pulled off the field unless he's injured. And he starts for the
But he needs minutes. He's not going to be sharp.
No, I agree.
He absolutely
does need
needs
minutes. But Berhalter will not start him.
Yeah, and that's I think that's a cop out for Berhalter to say that guys need to. I'm only selecting guys with minutes because I can bring up examples where he absolutely does not.
Right.
So that's a cop out. And that's fine, whatever. But let's just call it what it is. If we're on the Pulisic if we're sticking on the Pulisic train and not going the U.S. men's national train, which is a whole other boat, just the Pulisic.
Yeah.
I was listening to something interesting where they said that basically
don't say the Maguire swap.
No, well that's not going to happen. I'll tell you why.
I saw that.
So,
that's not a good
focus,
idea.
guys. We're Maguire. No one wants that player.
Do you want Pulisic at United?
I think they're going to get Anthony because Anthony has refused to train with Ajax basically and said trade me. So he didn't play today. He hasn't trained with them in days, and he's going go talk to United. I'm done here.
Well, that's fair. But I asked, would you want him as a United supporter?
I wouldn't mind him. I'm not sure. Honestly, if
do you think
still
him and Ronaldo would work well together?
I would love for Ronaldo to go to MLS and just be done. But again, sticking on Pulisic, ADD boy, damn, and I can say that I have that. Listening to something interesting today or the other day, they basically said the biggest problem with Pulisic in Tuchel's system is it doesn't fit Tuchel's system. He doesn't fit Tuchel's system with the type of player he wants. So that it could be absolutely why he's just not fitting into the team anymore. That was their analysis. I can see it. So the interesting portion now is, can he garner a trade somewhere else? Can he go somewhere else? And I think Newcastle were sniffing.
Newcastle was sniffing around. Apparently, Man United had been sniffing around. The rumors
I
that
don't
were in
believe the Maguire Pulisic thing. That I think that is a load of garbage. I think it's
made that is newspaper sales and clickbait all over it.
I think there's more. There's more to the Anthony speculation, especially because the player absolutely isn't training, and the great Here We Go has basically said the reason why he's not training is the player wants that move, so it's not a Frankie de Jong situation where the player doesn't want the move, but the club wants to sell him. He actually wants the move. The club doesn't want to sell him. So who knows if he can push that through? But that would be that there.
I'd also like to. There's been a lot of people who've asked me, Man United fans who get excited about potentially getting Pulisic. In reality, Man United are gunning for a top 4 spot. So is Chelsea. Chelsea's gunning for a top 4 spot. Why would Chelsea loan out or even sell a player of that caliber to Man United?
He doesn't fit the system.
He doesn't fit the system. But why would you give such a good player to one of your clear rivals? That's not going to happen.
Well, I mean,
why would you trade someone within your own conference in MLS to another team that's competing?
No, MLS is a different breed, and you have different.
MLS is different, but now I get where you're going.
Time in the Premier League. Hold on. Van Persie came from where?
Oh, that's a little bit of a different story there, right?
What's different there?
He refused to play. He had a list. He'd done a very good job for Arsenal and had earned a right to move somewhere.
Sweet.
That's a little bit different. And then give me the Juan Mata one. Give me the Juan Mata one because he was towards the end of his career and really brought nothing. You're talking about a 23-year-old superstar.
Right. I'm sorry. A 23. Yes. What type of Villa player would sell a 23, 22, 4-year-old superstar onto, another club rival city? Come on. It happens.
Even I'm smart enough to admit that Villa and City are in different leagues. Plus,
not every time we talk here.
plus, Let's dive into that for 30 seconds. I want to explain this to a few people. Jack Grealish signed a brand new contract with us the year prior. Okay. In that contract, he said, listen, there is going to be a buyout clause. If someone comes in with a buyout clause and meets the valuation of £100 million, you have to accept it. Or I'm not signing this new contract with you, Aston Villa. Villa said, you know what? We understand. If you earn that, the $100 million transfer, we will sell you. And sure enough,
so it happened.
They had to.
But it happened.
It happened.
So
Pulisic does not have that written into his contract.
You're saying it's unheard of and never happened. What I'm saying is, right now, Pulisic is not the superstar that anyone outside the U.S. thinks he is. He's an off-the-roll bench player that doesn't fit into a system at Chelsea. Sorry, that's what it is. It's what it is. Until he proves something else different, he's not a starter for Chelsea. He's an off-the-roll bench player that doesn't fit a system. So if you're telling me would a off-the-roll, take the name out of it, would an off-the-roll bench player that doesn't fit in your system that you could sell for lots and lots of money, would you sell him to somebody else? I think they would.
The rumors are a loan. Would you loan him out?
Yeah. Because
if
you could take him back. Yeah,
you want to have that. Sure, he's unhappy that he's not starting and getting 90 minutes.
You can take him
but
back.
He can get 25 minutes.
But if you could take him back,
that's written into the contract. So
exactly.
That'll be written in the contract. And would Man United take that? Would they sign a contract?
Well,
with
right
Chelsea
now Man United is desperate, and the biggest error you just made in this whole conversation is that Chelsea and Man United are on the same page, because I believe one team finished 8th and the other team is finished third and finished in the Champions League. So I get it. They're both
my bad in that part of the argument.
So that's like the biggest mistake there that you made in this whole thing. And I say that as a United fan.
Right.
So don't know what to tell you, but they're not the same page. Emmer's got a whole bunch of things over here.
Oh
Scott,
boy, Scott. I was about to say.
So first thing I want to get on it, he goes, "Who is the best soccer player to come out of Michigan?" I know this is unrelated. I'm going to say him.
I responded to his message. I gave him a whole bunch of people.
I'm just saying him, and whoever you put doesn't matter. I don't really care. He is the best one to come out of Michigan. Mm-hmm. I say that because if I'm playing against him, I hope he will be nice to me next time. Anyways, and Sammy P from Madonna
Mr. Sam Pirani, the Hall of Fame.
Hall of
Famer. Congratulations to our friend.
Shout out!
Yeah, I think that deserves a little bit of a clap there. Well done, Mr. Sammy Pirani.
Yeah.
Legends.
And someone wants to disagree with me, but they're wrong.
What are they disagreeing with you about, my friend?
Michael Wrong Tyson says Pulisic has done a ton of good things for Chelsea. Scored major goals for a major reason for their success. When given the opportunities, he has proven himself. Look at Dortmund. Okay, yes, he was good in Dortmund. Chelsea are not Dortmund. Never said he was bad, but he's not a starter. Can anyone disagree with the fact he's not a starter? That's my point. Or did I miss something? Let me look at the game. When did he come in? And did he start? Let's see. Nope. He's a good player. He's a good player. That's why he's going to garner money, but he's not a starter for Chelsea. Doesn't mean he can't be good anywhere else. This happens all the time.
Yes, I agree.
That's why I think, like I said last week, I think him taking a step to like a Newcastle or another team where he has to be the guy, like they need to rely on him, would be a good thing for him to do. I think him not playing around other super talented guys would very much be good for him if he stays in the Premier League. I think that would be a very good step for him, where he's starting all the time and he's got to be the guy.
I would love to see him stay in the Premiership, but I would love to see him get more minutes, as we said.
He needs to get more minutes.
Yeah, there's a host of teams that would love to take him. I don't know what his wages are. I can't believe they're anywhere. They're probably 100 to 150,000 pounds a week. He's not earning De Bruyne money of 350,000 pounds a week. He's not earning Ronaldo money.
He's kind of easily movable, to be honest with you, in Premier League standards.
It depends where he wants to go, right? Yes. I'm sure teams like Aston Villa or Crystal Palace or teams who are fighting in the mid-table will take him, would love to have him. Yes. Newcastle, I think, would be a great spot for him. Yeah. Eddie Howe loves fast wingers. Look at Almiron. Look at St. Maximin. Yeah. That would be a great spot for Pulisic to end up at. And they can afford him. Oil money, right? Yeah. Oil money.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where he does end up. Does he need the minutes? Are we saying that he doesn't need to get consistent minutes?
No, I think he does, but I think Berhalter's going to start no matter what.
Right.
But I think it's important for him, especially to stay fit for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, why did Gareth Bale come to LAFC? I mean,
That's a great point. Just
It
he
was
wants
done.
minutes and to get
he
minutes
wants to
under his
stay
belt and stay
healthy.
fit. Yeah.
But maybe he's like, hey, maybe there's something about MLS because Higuain said this was
So
really
you heard it here
difficult and
first.
Insigne.
Pulisic to MLS.
No, we're definitely no. I don't think.
what?
Oh God.
I love my MLS, but no, I'm sorry.
I don't
Did I
think
read
that's a
that
good
one wrong?
idea.
And there's like 10 games left in the season. We're going to talk about it later on MLS Roundup, okay? So,
There's not as many games as you think left in the MLS because
There's
as
not.
Brooks before we came on air, Brooks was talking about the games that are leading up to the finish of the season
Yeah.
because we're right around the corner from
World
the
Cup.
World Cup. I think we are 92 days out from World Cup, which it is really hard to believe. It's really hard to
We're
believe.
92 days out until June?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Ah.
That's all I got is yes.
No, no one would put a World Cup in like
November?
December. That's weird.
Only
It's
if
in June,
Qatar.
right? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the news.
I do want to explain to a couple of people because we do
I'm
have
also
people who
not
watch
good
the
at
show who aren't quite as familiar with World Cups and the details that go into it. I do want to explain that Qatar won the World Cup bid several years ago. Essentially what they did was they paid a bunch of money under the table
Wait.
to FIFA.
They cheated, but that's
Wait,
okay.
hold on. I thought they
I
won.
said
I know you
one.
did. I know.
I said one.
I
know.
thought. Wait a minute. I thought they won it due to their amazing soccer culture and all the stadiums being
That they
already
never had
built
before.
that weren't put together by basically indentured slaves, where they stole their passports and made them, work there, creating huge human
Trafficking,
travesties and
yeah. And people died.
They
building
didn't
these
do that,
stadiums.
right?
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely wrong. They absolutely
Oh.
did that. So the stadiums weren't built. There was nothing there. Qatar bought the World
Wait a
Cup
minute.
from FIFA.
Yes.
Are you telling me that FIFA, a international
A very
government
corrupt
body-
organization.
Hold on, I'm getting there. An international soccer body is corrupt?
I know, right? Like the mafia?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that there's possibly an international organization out there that the U.S. government probably raided and tried to arrest several of them for certain scrupulous activities? Those people are running FIFA?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Do they have any control over the video game either?
I don't think so.
what video game?
FIFA 2000, whatever.
I don't play video
I got a
games.
beta version playing it now. I'm kicking ass, bud.
Good luck with your
No
video
longer
games.
around though because
So-
they lost the deal. There's no
Still
more.
there?
They
EA
did.
Sports. It's
Back
in the game.
to
Anyways.
explaining to folks who aren't as obsessed with the sport as we are. But the World Cup is normally held in the summer because it is so hot in Qatar in the summer. The World Cup for this round has been moved to November, December. The stadiums are indoors. The stadiums have been built over the last couple of years. There have been many people dying from building, and there have been a lot of imported immigrants brought in to help build, paid illegally, not paid, held as slaves. It is a terrible thing. I know a couple of people who will not be watching the World Cup because they
Because of it?
disagree with everything
Not
because of that.
us!
I
what?
unfortunately will be watching, even though I disagree with.
Same. I mean,
Everything.
I can see why, and I understand why people will not want to do that because of all the stuff that's
Yeah.
happened, and you should support that, and that's what you definitely should.
Yeah,
Like Philip
Yeah.
Long.
he won't be
Is he-
watching, huh?
He won't be going.
German international Philip Lahm will not be watching because
Wow.
No, he said he wouldn't even go.
Wow.
good for him.
Yep.
I mean, good for him for sticking up for what he believes.
I'm
We
not
do have a
sure.
World Cup question, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we want to get into it.
all right, call it out.
Zach want to know what our favorite pick is. Dark horse, no
Ooh.
chance. Where does the USA finish?
I've got. All right, let's go backwards there. I've got USA personally. I have a bet on them to crash out in the quarterfinals. I think they'll make it. I think they'll be second in the round in their group, and then I think they'll crash out in the quarters. Personally, I think they'll do very well. I think they'll show very well.
That's not bad. It's not fun, but it's not bad.
And I think
it's very safe and all like ice cream.
I think the World Cup winners, England, is coming home.
Okay.
Wow, that's big words
Brooks,
there.
what do you got there, buddy?
So for U.S., I think they'll get out of the group stage. I think they'll lose in that first round, though, once they get out of the group stage. I think they'll meet someone at some point that it's going to be tough.
If they finish second in their group, which I think we're all, at least you and I, Brooks, are thinking they will finish second in their group, they'll face someone who finished first. So they're going to face a pretty good nation in that first round.
Yeah.
Nate, you look like you're pondering over there.
Well, because none of you answered like all the questions.
We're doing one by one.
That wasn't one by one. You skipped everywhere.
We can do the dark
He said he was
horse.
going to go backwards.
All right,
So
fine.
where did the USA finish?
Where did the USA
and who?
finish?
Let's go with where did USA finish and who wins it?
Part of me wants to say they don't get out of the group.
You don't think USA get out of the group?
It's a tough group.
It's a group. I mean,
Wales
there's
is
no
a-
real
Wales-
group of death, but if
Iran
anything, this is a
is a
group of
tough
death.
team.
Yeah.
Iran's a very tough team.
This
Wales
is-
is a really good team.
Iran is going to
If
ruin
you
someone's
look at
World Cup.
If you look at the Coca-Cola FIFA rankings, this is the group
Because
of
those
death.
are worth so much.
But this is the group of death according to them.
Absolutely.
According to world rankings, which is the best we have. All these teams are very good. But then part of me goes fandom on you and goes, we're gonna go deep and finish first in that group because England sucks. That's right, I said it. England sucks.
Does England not make it out of the group?
England has no chance.
Watch your mouth there, Brooks.
England has
You watch your
no
mouth.
chance.
That's
No
great.
chance, no.
It was U.S. and then Wales and then England.
Oh,
It's gonna
God.
be U.S. Iran.
Oh, my heart just thinking about England not making it out of the group. I'm gonna have to after we answer these questions. I've had a lot of people ask me my allegiance to USA and England, so I'll explain that in a
What color is your
minute.
passport?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
So
you know what it is.
who wins it, Nate? Who wins the World Cup?
Oh, we all know who's winning it. The Germans will win the German.
The
World Cup.
Germans.
The German will win the German World Cup. No, actually, that's a good question because I think it's always a gamble. I think Germany will go far. I don't think they're going to win it. I think their team is too young. I think they're going to be contenders in another 4 years, based on the youth that they have coming up and some of the good players they have. But they'll do well. Who's going to win it? Well, screw it.
The
France.
France? I was
Because
gonna say
that's
Belgium.
a super safe vanilla pick.
I
France
don't think
and the Cuckoo's gonna be the World Cup player of the year.
I like it. All right.
That's
so
because
you got
he's
France.
gonna-
France is loaded. We know France,
France
is
is
really
loaded.
good. All right.
France
What were
is
some of the
loaded.
other questions? Who the dark horses?
Dark horses. France.
France. I know. I
Because
don't.
nobody's ever heard of them.
I don't know. You know what? I think we may have to.
Can England also be a dark horse with no
No,
chance? Can it
no,
be a no
because
chance
they're
dark horse? I'm just asking.
They're
for
they're one of the favorites. France,
Favorites
Germany,
and lose.
England favorites. Brazil favorite. I think. Maybe we don't answer these questions all now. And we do a little bit of segment in the next couple of weeks because I think we can go really deep on this.
Well, that's why I asked.
We can go real deep on it. I
could've
do
said
love the
thank
question
you, we'll
though.
get to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the U.S. one was fair because we're talking about the
Yeah.
U.S. later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that was a good one. And
I
then
just want somewhere to chime in with your MLS-ness.
I do.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of
There's
these
one or two Germans in that league.
A lot of these foreign guys have been going and competing in UEFA and doing well.
Hey.
You got Shaboko and some of those other guys have been doing well. Shaqiri over here now.
Yeah.
You know? You got all the South American guys competing in Comdable and everything. So come on now.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we wrap up our EPL? We'll wrap up our EPL piece here.
Yo, America, jump off.
I know. But I do want to finish. Wrapping this up a little bit. I want to make sure we get to look at the table here. All right. So here's the table. Arsenal running away with the league. 3 games, 3 wins. Number 1. What a turnaround. I'm telling you right now. Good friend Andrea on the Facebook group recently said, hey, what about a little bit of love for Arsenal? I got to be honest. They have blown me away. They played today, and, man, they kicked ass against Bournemouth.
They have never shot out to the top of the table ever and then come crashing down.
No, I get it. Listen, typical Man United fan there. I get
But
it.
everyone was like, Arteta, like, do we get rid of him? And like they're giving him time. Like, and that's that people don't understand. Some of these coaches need time and to adjust their their stuff into them.
They gave him a full.
Time in the German league, and we'll get to that later.
You really don't
cut him.
You really
Ruthless.
don't. But if you're successful, you get a lot of time.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, Brooks, you bring up a great point there.
Yeah.
Arsenal last year started 0-3.
Yeah.
And there was talk about him not even making it through the next 2 games. Slowly but surely turned it around, and what a season they ended up having.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 43 million pounds for a world-class striker in Jesus.
Yeah.
The goals,
Zinchenko.
the goals he's scoring, and Zinchenko as well, coming from Man City. He was Jesus was involved in all 3 goals today.
Yeah.
He is a marquee. That was a stroke of genius from Arsenal signing him. I absolutely love the way Arsenal play.
Okay.
Love it.
Hold on. Okay. I know Crystal Palace is a powerhouse now because they beat Villa. But let's not get over the skis. And then Leicester City is doing what now? And then, I get it, Bournemouth. Woo! Yeah.
Bournemouth.
But come on.
Tell me how the rest of the teams in the league have done.
City's done pretty damn well.
Oh, they tied today against Newcastle.
Yeah, against Newcastle. They haven't lost yet.
How'd Chelsea do?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're 3 games in. That's my point.
How-
You're just feeding to my point there, buddy. You're right.
The 3 games in, I get it. But there's one team who's looked head and shoulders above the rest and hasn't had a little dip in form.
Brian Hooven Albion.
You're right. I take it all back.
But I do say
and Fulham.
I have watched Arsenal play, and they look really good. Arteta's got that team humming along. They're doing really well, and I don't think Emile Smith-Rowe's even back in the lineup yet. So they're still waiting for 1 or 2 players to come back and get healthy. Now, yes, they are going to have a little dip in form. They are going to look like shit occasionally. But for me,
one game.
they look very, very good. And there's one thing you can't argue with.
What?
They're sitting at the top of the table.
That's true.
Yeah,
They're sitting at the top of the table.
You know what?
Plus
Yesterday,
7.
Gluten Bodbach was sitting at the top of the table too. What is your point? You're game 3.
Uh-huh. Man City finished
Shut the league down. It's over.
Leeds 3.
Did you turn into like a delusional Arsenal fan?
No, he's just giving him props.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
He's literally arguing right now why this is.
There's
He's gotta make his point. Come on now.
There's one team who through 3 games, yes, we're only through 3 of 38, has looked
They
legit.
haven't played anyone.
They've played games, just like everybody.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to tell you, Nate, but get on
Are we
board.
all taking crazy pills?
Well, bottom of the division, West Ham United.
Hey, wait.
Tied with
The unbeatable United.
Tied with
this week.
Manchester United.
The unbeatable Manchester United. You gotta finish that up from this
Yes.
week.
Liverpool currently sitting 15th after 2 games. They play tomorrow, as we talked about. They've got 2 draws and sit with a goal difference of 0.
So I'm calling it the worst decision that any club made for transfer was Schmeichel leaving Leicester.
Oh, yeah, I agree
I
with
think
that.
he meant the world to them.
I still don't understand what happened there.
I think he meant the world to them as a goalkeeper because he won them games, and now you can see.
But he's
the
still
effects
young
of it.
as a goalkeeper.
I know.
Like, I don't understand what happened. And then, like, he went
That's
out and
probably
he's
one of the
like,
worst moves in my opinion. Maybe there's a worse one.
is his wife French? Like, seriously, that's
No,
the only thing I can get out of this is, like, his family wanted, like, maybe from France or French lineage. Not him, but, like, maybe his wife. And they wanted to move closer to family because, like, it makes 0 sense.
I do have to do a little bit more research on this, but I believe it was Peter Schmeichel who asked to leave. He said, "I would like to leave and go abroad and play somewhere else."
But that's what I'm saying. He asked to
Big
leave,
Un.
and he went to Nice.
Big Un.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
hey, I like wine. It's yummy.
He should have went to LA, and then he could have had a wine vineyard out there.
I think he wanted to leave and go to France, and because he has done so much for Leicester,
Yes.
and he has put in the
won a
years of
title,
service.
he's done-
I agreed. So
No one is arguing that.
Yes.
What the peculiar portion of this is he leaves and goes to Nice. Not even
wine
like
country.
Not in PSG or
It's
Marseille.
exactly. It's not even one that's competing. It's like, hey, I'm at Right now,
Is Monaco still good? Right? Yeah.
I'm a starter for City. Yeah. I want to leave and go for United. Wait, what? Like, no one does that. That's just a jab at both teams.
Yes.
It's like, I'm playing for Munich. Yeah. I'm a starter there. Uh-huh. And I'm going to go just play for Stuttgart. Wait, what? Why? What are you doing? Like, no one does that.
Agreed. It's a little silly. But from what I understand,
A little silly?
He wanted to move his family. He wanted to get out of England, and he wanted to go to
Wanted
France.
to be in the countryside.
He wanted to go to France. He wanted to go to wine country.
So that's
in
why
France.
I'm asking is, like, maybe his wife or something like that, where they have family near or close there, because that's the
I
only
feel like
thing
Serie
that makes
A
sense.
would have been a good destination for him.
I agree.
There's
I agree.
$500 million destination. He could have stayed in the Premier League, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
MLS.
MLS.
We will get to MLS roundup after we come back
Can't
from
wait
a
to
break,
talk
which
more
will take in a
Leeds.
couple
Yeah.
of minutes.
Wait, what?
Major Leeds soccer, yes. Now you guys have thrown me off where we were. Let's just finish up the table here. Villa sit in 13th, Chelsea in 12th, Nottingham Forest, newly promoted Nottingham Forest, sit in 10th. After 3 games, they're 1-1-1, -1 goal difference. Brentford, after 3 games, 1-1-1, plus 3 goal difference. That being helped by that big win they had against United the other week. Newcastle United 6th with 1 win, 2 draws. That big game today against Man City. Your top 4 is rounded out with Arsenal 1, Man City 2, Leeds 3, Tottenham 4, and Brighton Hove Albion actually in 5th. After 3 games, they've won 2, tied 1, and sit with a positive 3 goal difference.
Woo, the Seagulls, right?
I mean, Graham Potter is doing a hell of a job
Yeah,
there
he's-
down in
yeah.
Brighton. I mean, and we've heard it before. How come he hasn't been given a chance at a big club? Maybe
He's a small club
maybe
guy,
the
maybe.
right big club hasn't come along to him yet.
I'm a believer that there are managers for the big clubs, and there's ones that'll always be successful at the small ones. Like that's their mentality. That's what they're good at. They're building. They're gonna.
Yeah.
There's
want
a
to.
lot of logic and reasoning and
Yeah.
a lot of evidence to actually back that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
All right. Well, I also want to talk about a new segment we're going to be featuring next week. We're going to do the Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer Team of the Week.
Yes.
So our good friends at Michigan Soccer Central, they run a great outfit here in Michigan, reporting on all high school, all club, all youth soccer games.
Yes.
We have teamed up with them at the MSC group, Michigan Soccer Central group, and we are going to be selecting a Team of the Week.
Yes.
So how do you become Team of the Week? Well, you have to be nominated. You have to nominate yourself, or someone else has to nominate you. Now, if you want to be nominated, go ahead and hit us up on our socials, on the Michigan Soccer Central socials, on the We Are Soccer social channels, whatever it is, wherever you find us, email us, tag us, tell us you want to be Team of the Week. And do that by Thursday at noon, and you will be entered in the running. Each new Team of the Week will be announced right here on the live We Are Soccer show. Brooks, I know you know the Michigan Soccer Central guys pretty well.
Yes.
They do a lot of good work, do they not?
Yes. Dan Garnell and Robert Kerr do a lot of good work with Robert with the MSC podcast, which you can find on Spotify. So this week, he's lined up. He has a DCFC player he'll interview every week, and then I believe it might be a high school player or coach this week he's going to interview from the Southeast Michigan area. So look out for those interviews, usually 2 to 3 interviews a week on the MSD podcast. And you have Dan Garnell going out, snapping photos, updating the social media handle, or the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook page as well. Then we also have some great people doing graphics for us as well, and editing the podcast as well. But like Craig said, send a photo, tag us, direct message us about Team of the Week. It could be for anything. It could be for an outstanding victory. You beat the number 1 team in your conference, or you beat the number 1 team in the state, or you did something great in the community with your charity work, what your team did, whether helping out, the soup kitchen or something or whatever. Just whatever you do, we do different nominations. It's not just all about the teams that go undefeated and demolish everyone. It's about just the love of the game in soccer.
Yep, want to make sure we emphasize that. Just because your team went 19-0 and had a 101 goal difference doesn't mean you're going to win, because it could be a team out there who doesn't have that record but has been doing great things in the community.
Yes.
We want to hear all about it, and we want to highlight your team. So go ahead and nominate your team. Tell us why. And as Brooke said, tag us, whatever social channel you're on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
Instagram.
Tag us, tag both groups, tag one of us. It's fine. Send a picture. We'll get the graphics done, and we will announce the team of the week every Sunday night here on We Are Soccer. Really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah,
Should
it's been
be
a while.
fun. Yeah. We're gonna come back in a little bit. We're gonna talk about Detroit City FC and how they've been doing. They scored a great goal. Connor Roots scored this past week and made it to number 6 on the Sports Center. Nate with the Sports Center music there. Ooh, that might be trademark. Don't do that again.
I didn't do anything except for mutter.
It didn't sound exactly like it.
It's close enough,
What's a
right?
Sports
Close.
Center?
Yeah, what's a Sports Center? No idea. No idea. As you guys look at each other. One thing I do want to mention coming up as well, we are here in Michigan. We're in the Novi area. If you are looking to play indoor soccer in a tournament coming up October 23rd, Total Soccer is having a 6v6 tournament. So, at Total Soccer Novi, one of my favorite places to play indoor soccer, 6v6 tournament. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, so the 23rd and the 24th. It's bound to be a great time. I will be there playing because I love playing indoor soccer. I love tournaments, and I'm going to be sore, and it's going to hurt, but it's going to be worth it. If you're in the area, sign up. Spots are going fast. They've got men's open, co-ed open, co-ed over 30, and co-ed rec. So sign up and sign up quick because spots are going quick. I think it's like $200 if you sign up before September 9th or something like that. So go ahead, sign up. Total Soccer Novi, right there in Novi, 6v6. It should be a great time. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back. Go ahead, get a beer, get some snacks, do what you got to do. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Cheers. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you were able to get a beer, get some chips, get something, and get ready for the second half of our show here because we're going to have a little bit of fun. All right, we're going to jump in real quick. We're going to talk about Detroit City FC. They are the local professional team here in Detroit. They play in the USL Championship. One of us in this room may have played for them, and...
Brooks? Nice. I never knew you were so good.
I know,
Awesome,
right?
Brooks. Can you go on and on about your stories with DCFC?
Nope.
Not Brooks? Well, it wasn't me.
We're going to skip ahead there,
Oh.
so it's not very awkward there for Brooks at all.
Oh, my bad.
But anyway, so they play in the USL Championship, which is a level right below Major League Soccer.
MLS.
Is it right? Wait.
USL.
I understand it's a little bit, they don't have the money, and I do understand it's technically, I guess if you look at like the Open Cup, the league below, but is it really the league below? I mean,
It's still a great quality.
it's very good quality, and
Hey,
and
Sac Republic, Orlando
That's what
City,
that's
US
what I'm
Open
hearing.
Cup Final,
That's what I'm
September
hearing
7th.
towards.
I mean,
Yeah.
in the pyramid of soccer, you've got MLS and then USL Championship, so you gotta say it's a division below.
Yeah.
You gotta say it if we're going.
Are they classified actually as Division 2, or are they still
Yes.
Division? Are they a Division
Brooks
1?
should know best.
They're classified under US
Shut
Soccer as
Brooks.
Division 2.
Yeah, there we go.
You wanted my honest opinion?
No, I wanted you to lie to me. I wanted you to call me pretty.
We are going to show you a goal right now that
You are
happened
pretty.
this past week. We're going to show you this goal, which made Sports Center's number 6 play of the day. What a goal by Connor Roots. Another bicycle kick. This guy just cannot stop bicycle kicking. I don't even know. Is that even like?
It's
I don't even know.
just go with it.
So like
I played
Queen,
soccer for 30 plus years.
can we put Queen under and ride your bicycle or whatever?
A bicycle.
Love it. All right, we're going to go ahead and show you this. It'll loop once or twice, and then we'll be right back. Here you go.
Birmingham. So
As
far,
you see,
deadlock
balls
between
crossed
Detroit
in.
and Birmingham. Could change here.
Wow.
The run
What a
scores.
goal. I'm telling you,
Oh, what a
he does
strike
great
from
job.
Connor Runts on the
Runts does a
volley.
great job. He
And
enters
City
the
have a
box.
lead here in
He
Birmingham.
watches the defender go a little bit quicker
Birmingham.
and lets space happen.
For
Watch.
deadlock between
Whoa.
Detroit and
Creates a
Birmingham.
little bit of
Could
space.
change here. The
Back
run
to the ball.
scores. Oh, what a strike
What a
from
goal,
Connor
what a
Runts on
goal.
the
This is
volley.
down in Birmingham,
And City
Alabama.
have a lead here in
Detroit City ended
Birmingham.
up winning this game
From
2-1.
Birmingham.
What a great goal.
That was a big win
Deadlock
for them
between
because
Detroit
they're
and
ahead in their
Birmingham.
table. They're ahead of the
Could change
table
here.
and they're in the top
Run
5.
scores.
Birmingham,
Oh, what
so
a
this was
strike
huge
from
win for
Connor
DCFC.
Runts.
Yep, help knock out points, help close down that gap there that they need to get to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because as one wise Brooks told me, it's 7 teams that make the playoffs, right?
Yes, 7 and 7
7
from each
and 7.
conference.
And
Well, we're gonna jump in, and Nate is our man on the sideline this week.
Woo!
He's been watching and attending
Yes.
games. Nate, they played last night.
yes, look, I even wore my shirts.
Oh, I love the shirt, by
Yes.
the way. Love that. I do like that shirt. It's so simple.
It is. And guess who also has this shirt? Some real cool kid. Want to know her name? Her name's Sydney.
Yes, that's your child.
Boom. Super cool. And
tell us about that game last night, though.
Oh, yeah, it was
that game last night. From what I understand,
Yep.
got a little bit chippy.
Yep.
The fans got into it. Detroit City did not come out on top. Tell us about it. What happened?
So it was for all in all purposes a very even and good match, I thought, for with both teams. Did get very, very, very chippy. I think Louisville and Detroit are kind of starting to forge a bit of a rivalry there, like a strong one now, because they played a few times this year, and all the matches seem to be very, very razor edge and close. The controversy came in where the ref, who apparently also is USL Ref of the Year.
I saw that somewhere,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, not a bad ref, and he probably did his best under the circumstances. There's no VAR or any replays or anything like that in the league. One of the Louisville players basically phantom fouled within the box, and the guy didn't even touch him, wasn't even close. You could see it on the micro replay when you rewinded it. It was clear as day. I think the fans could even see it from that sideline because you could hear them. But us at home who were watching it, which I was at home watching it, they replayed it several times, and it was very, very clear that the guy just went down like a ton of bricks without being touched. And that, unfortunately, was a 1-0 goal. I'm going to say,
Neymar?
though, what?
Was it kind of like Neymar, where he just rolls around?
It was
Like
very.
the rolling
It was
like
very.
to different
he took
locations
a-
and countries.
Put it this way. Put
Oh
it
my
this way.
God, I love that
No.
meme. He's rolling in different locations.
But
Different love it.
It reminded me of one younger Nathan Janulis who, when was playing in Germany and got his foot stomped, yelled really loud and hit the ground. The only difference is, and this was the last time I ever did one of that, is the Germans just laughed at me.
Was this the anniversary news you want to tell us about?
No, this was not the anniversary news. You're
We-
cutting
we
ahead.
are-
That's chat time. My
That-
friend.
yeah, we're gonna-
Stick to the plan.
Okay, all right, because you texted us
You
earlier
said
about the
anniversary.
big anniversary.
We're on DCFC right now, gentlemen.
Okay, all right.
Detroit, the only
He wants to
friggin'
stick to the
team
topic for one.
in Detroit that's ever gonna make a goddamn playoff. Stick with me here. Okay. Sorry for that. Anyways, in fairness, there was actually 2 red cards given for Louisville. One, I think, and I'm sorry, and DCFC fans, don't throw eggs at me. We took a dive there. And it was the last man back, and he hit the ground, which, because the last defender back, instant red. Then Louisville was playing with 10 men down. DC was just shelling balls in left and right. Had a lot of close close chances there to actually pull it even. The second dissent card was from Louisville player already on yellow, basically mouthing off, I believe, saying some untoward words. The foul language, Craig, was rapid, and the ref had enough. So I would say
Foul language in a men's game?
was rapid. So I would say, unfortunately, a good match was a little bit marred in some calls that I do not think were that great. But what do I know? I'm not a ref. It's just my personal opinion. But they're going to play Louisville again, and I think everyone should absolutely turn into that match. It's going to be an away game, so you probably can go to the clubhouse to watch that in person if you don't have kids. If you have kids, you're stuck in the basement watching it in ESPN Plus. Craig, see you there. Books, have fun at the clubhouse. Anywho. And I think it's going to be one hell of a match again because these guys really, really like to go at each other when they play. It seems like every time I watch them. So
And Louisville are top of the standings.
they are
right
top
now.
of the standings,
They
but you
are
know what? They're
doing
barely
really
squeaking
well.
by DCFC. So I think they can get them.
Yeah.
They absolutely could get them. This match, and this match took a phantom dive. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it was for Louisville to come out on top. Otherwise, they're not coming out on top. I don't think at all that they were beating DCFC at home. So I think they're going to be ready for them, and I think I'm going to make a prediction. Prediction 8 here. DCFC 1-0 away to Louisville.
Wow, that's
Big.
bold.
That's a bold prediction.
That's
I'm
bold
saying it right now.
Louisville
Especially because-
does well at home.
Yeah,
you
they
know
did.
who also does well at home? The home teams.
The home teams.
I was going to say something like,
Oh, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate.
but I don't care. Yeah, Stuttgart. Shut up, Brooks. They lost.
Well, Detroit City have a big task on their hands. They got 8-9 games left, something like that.
Yeah,
and,
they got a few games in. I think they get in, man. I think
Yeah.
they get in, and it's going to be exciting. And you know what? I hope they get a home game at.
9 games left.
I hope they get that playoff
9,
win, and I
yeah,
hope they get
9
that home
games
game
left.
So
because I
do
think
you want
they
to go through
deserve
the
it.
last 9?
Yeah, absolutely.
break it down?
You know what? Tell us the last 9 games.
And I'll give you
home
my
and away.
prediction on every one of them. Ready? Let's go.
And you have the standings, right, in front of you?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't even need the standings. Prediction time. Go.
Okay.
It'll be short. Rapid fire. Go.
Okay, they play at Charleston.
Win.
Henry. Home to Indy 11.
Win.
At Colorado Switchbacks.
Win.
And, home to Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Wait. Hold. Win.
Tampa Bay Rowdies third right now in the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference.
Fuck them. Win.
Yeah, Colorado Switchbacks, I think, have done all right in the Western Conference, too.
Yeah, let me look.
Move on. This is supposed to be rapid fire.
Colorado
We pause.
Switchbacks
Are third in the
are
Western
third in the
Conference.
Western Conference.
Yeah. No one likes Colorado. Win.
NYRB2.
Win.
Okay.
They should beat.
They
They
should
should. I mean,
Yes.
NYRB2 have won 3 games this year and lost 18.
I already
They're not
said
in it-
win. Move
They're
on.
not in it to win it.
They're in it to
not in
help
it to
their
win it.
talent. Yeah,
We're not in it
agreed.
to win it.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
DCFC versus Tulsa.
Win.
They lost at Tulsa.
Don't care.
All
Win.
right.
Tulsa's doing all right
Yes,
though.
they're
Fuck
ahead of
them,
Right
win.
below them.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they play at Loudoun United.
That's a tie.
Loudoun United are.
They just beat them.
Shut up. Next one.
Jeez. And they're at Louisville City.
Oh, that's a win. I already said that.
That's the 1-0 win as Nate's predicting.
And the final game
At home, you're not losing
October
the
15th against Miami.
That's the party.
At home, right?
That's the
At
party.
home, who are above you, and they're a point ahead of you.
I don't give a shit. That's the party, and that's the win.
But I'm saying, if you look
Must-win
at-
game there, the
but if
Miami
you look
game.
at-
It's not going to be a must-win game because you just sure right. They're already in first place now.
But if
It'll
you
be a
look at their
must-win game.
schedule, though, so they have NYRB, they're playing below the table, Charleston, Loudoun, Indy 11, and Tulsa. Tulsa is 8 points behind them.
Yeah.
Okay, but they also still have to go to Louisville, play Tampa at home, play Miami, who's ahead of them, and then play a third-place team in the Colorado Switchbacks. So
It's a tough schedule coming in,
It
but
is.
it's doable.
I think
It is.
It's doable.
In
It's
all
tough,
seriousness,
but
I
it's
think
doable.
it's very doable.
It
When you look
is.
at the home and away.
Yeah.
I'll take a last game of the season at home with the team currently right now just barely above me, and I think emotions pull you through that game easily. So yeah, I think you're going to have some struggles here and there with some of those teams. Agreed, but I think there's enough in there like RB2 and some of these where you're going to nick points away and you're going to make.
well, you have to win those. Those are musts. Like, you have to beat the MLS reserve teams.
Have
Like,
to. And one thing we haven't talked about here, Detroit City FC have a solid 11, probably a solid 12 to 13 players. Once we start getting past that, it gets a little bit iffy. So we need to stay healthy. Detroit City needs to stay healthy for this run-in. The last 9 games, they have 2 or 3 injuries, a hamstring here, an ankle there. It could get a little bit iffy. So if we stay healthy, though, I think we got this.
The
I think
worst
we
thing
got
you
it.
could do is drop points to Charleston at Charleston, and you drop to Indy 11 because Indy 11's not had the year that everyone thought they would have, and then Charleston, it was a hard-fought
Yeah.
game early in the season, in a rainy, crappy
Sure.
day, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'd also like to mention to those folks, Northern Guard, they're going to, as usual, Detroit City's going to need you, and you're going to show up. I know you will. You'll bring that smoke. You'll bring that noise and make it Keyworth a tough place for those visiting teams. They're going to need you big time because, as we just talked about, there's some big games there that Detroit City needs to pull out. But if you are in the Metro Detroit area and you're looking to watch Detroit City while they're away,
And don't have
visit
kids.
the clubhouse. And you have, kids.
Kids. So
Kids can go. Kids can go. I've taken my kids to the clubhouse. They love it. They love it. You can take your kids. Take your kids to the clubhouse. Go visit the clubhouse. Watch the away games. And if you're a big fan of watching EPL and Bundesliga, as we talk about Bundesliga chat time here in a minute, on a Saturday morning, you can go down to the clubhouse from 8 o'clock to 3:30 in the afternoon. They are open. They are serving pies, and lots of beer and full breakfasts. But absolutely delicious. Go down to the clubhouse. Take your supporters group down to the clubhouse. Get in. Watch those EPL. Watch those Bundesliga games because that's the place to be. If you can get there and tell them We Are Soccer sent you because actually we might be there. I like to go down to the clubhouse, drink beer, eat pie, get a full breakfast, and watch Aston Villa as they
Do they got pancakes?
break my heart. They do have pancakes.
Do they have waffles?
Yes.
Do they have whipped cream?
Belgian waffles?
I don't know what the last thing is you said.
Whipped cream?
Grapes?
Grapes? What about
Yep,
grapes?
they got it all.
Ooh.
They got it all.
Did they
Trust
put
me,
the-
the breakfasts are. They got the chef down there at the clubhouse. Is phenomenal, by the way.
I always like a good omelet with ham and cheese in it, so there you
Ooh,
go.
there you go. They do have an
Yeah.
omelet.
Right now, I just eat rice and chicken, but one day. Can-
One day, once
can
you're
it-
off
can it-
your
can it be-
weird.
can it be after October 1st
Yeah,
so that I can
yeah.
not stare at the food that I can't eat? and
So
dream
Nate,
about it?
let me lead in here.
Yeah.
If folks are going down to the clubhouse and they're like, I really want to watch some German soccer.
Hey.
I'm interested in the Bundesliga.
For all 2 of you.
How can we educate these folks about the Bundesliga?
Oh, I feel like that's a segue.
MLS!
Demo! We're gonna talk
Oh,
about
you guys
Leeds.
missed the train completely. Oh, my word. All right,
okay.
let me spell it out a little bit. We are now going to do Bundesliga
It's
chat
time.
time.
It's time to talk the Bundesliga, the best league in the world. Where it's not a farm league, fuck you if you think so. It's a Bundesliga, Bundesliga. Yeah, hi, Craig.
Bundesliga chat time is
Did you hear the
Nate
anthem
and
song?
his.
It's awesome.
I love that anthem song.
All
right. And this is why we call it the kids' table. All right, so
Here we go.
Tell us, Nate, what are the big stories? What are the results this past weekend from the Bundesliga
Well,
we need to know about?
So let's just cover some things hot and heavy. I was wrong on a whole bunch of predictions.
Oh boy! All right, well.
So I was
Start us
like, we'll go top to bottom. I mean, Gladbach is beat Hertha, and they're doing well. They're actually sitting second at the table. They haven't lost a game. Good for them. That was I thought they were going to beat Hertha. So I kind of predicted that, but actually, if you would have told me coming into the season that they'd be sitting where they were, I wanted to. Nice to have another U.S. player getting a full start there, and Mr. Scully, yeah?
Scally.
Scully.
Mr. Joseph Scally doing well.
Doing well.
And many people.
And
He's not just a one-hit wonder anymore, right?
No,
because this
and-
is season 2 where he's doing this.
Gladbach straight out called out
Our backup left back.
Berhalter by saying, yeah, here's his third start, but I guess he's not good enough for your team
Love it.
on
Love
social
it.
media.
Love it.
So we'll see how that works out.
And
for
you know
him.
what? He better start the next 2 games and play well, because if not, the
He's
club and the social media account
he's
manager are going to
been
look
a permanent
dumb.
starter for that team since last year. So I think he was in the cards to be the permanent starter this year. And
Oh, I
think they
agree.
fully
Yeah.
and so it doesn't matter next
And he
game.
deserves to make
Yeah,
the
he's
squad.
playing great.
He just actually at the end of September there is a exhibition game that
Yes.
you guys are playing in Germany.
Against Japan.
against
You
Japan.
got it
Don't they
against
have someone
Japan,
else they're playing before Japan, though?
Don't know. We'll get
possibly, but it is in Germany.
Yes, it is,
So
though.
I mean,
Augsburg, right?
you've gotta believe that he's
They'll
gonna be
call
there.
in all the MLS players that game. Moving on,
Oh, that's
Leverkusen,
good. Because it's in
Hoffenheim.
Because it's in Germany.
Yeah.
It's because it's in Europe. All the European-based players will go. All right, moving on. Moving on.
Moving on. Leverkusen, Hoffenheim. Now, Leverkusen is not doing well. They are 0-4 in all competitive competitions. They lost to a know-nothing like Division 3 team, 4-3.
Correction.
They got
0-3.
No, 0-4 in competitive because they played the Pokal and lost to the Pokal. That's what I mean. That's the first.
You did say in all competitive competitions.
That's
you
a
did.
competitive competition.
Well done.
So they lost the opening match of their Pokal 4-3, unheard of. Then they went on to poop all over themselves for Dortmund 1-0. Then Augsburg somehow punched him in the face at home. And then I'm like, all right, this is a must-win. They're going to beat Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim put on a show, and they just smashed him. With actually Christian Baumgartner having one of the best goals I've seen all year next to the bicycle kick from DCFC. That's in a category of its own.
Yep.
Where he backheeled a goal from a good 10 to 15 yards out. Ball comes in, backheels it in the corner. That was actually the second backheel goal that actually happened in the Bundesliga this week. Nate, why do you watch the Bundesliga? I don't know, sick-ass goals. Anywho, so Hoffenheim beat the hell out of Leverkusen 3-0, and I'm just sitting here wondering when that guy's going to be fired. So he's on the ropes. Dortmund, unfortunately, let Bremen come back in. They shot out early to a 2-0 lead, and then Bremen just slowly came back on them and won it. Good for them, bad for Dortmund, because the problem with this league, everyone goes, oh, look at Munich, all the other teams suck. It's not so much that, is all the other teams are so much more even. And every time a team draws or loses that could be competitive, that's just further away Munich gets, which, if you ask me, I don't want them to win the league, but we'll get to that in a second. Stuttgart unfortunately lost to Freiburg 0-1. Freiburg had a hell of a set-piece goal that went in. Stuttgart had a lot of chances at home and just couldn't put it away.
Freiburg doing very well, by the way.
Freiburg's
Fifth in the standings.
And they did very well last year, too.
Yeah, they're doing very well again.
They're a good team. And what's nice about them is they're one of these teams that don't have a lot of flashy players. They don't have a lot of names. They have a stalwart of a coach who's been there for umpteenth forever years. And they just kind of get the job done. The last game that I thought that was really great on that Saturday match, and then we'll skim right to Sunday, and talk a little Munich, was Union Berlin versus Leipzig. Now, Leipzig is another team that their coach is doing very, very poorly considering the investments that they put in. They have struggled to actually win. They've drawn, but have not won.
0-2-1 so far this year.
Yep, and I thought they were going to win against Berlin. Berlin, who has a one Jordan Pifok playing for them, who not me,
Sibachu.
or Sibachu, depends on what do you want to call him, but on the sheet they call him Pifok, and on the stands they call him Sibachu. So anywho, scored another goal for them, so that's 2 goals in 3 games for him.
Dude is on fire right now.
He is on fire.
Cannot stop scoring.
And he helped set up the second goal for them, basically by getting murdered by playing the ball forward. And it's a great win for Union Berlin. Union Berlin, I think I wrote about this in the team. They're very much a supporter-built team coming up from ashes of nowhere. Versus Leipzig, who was... Basically, you can't get more corporate than Red Bull.
Corporate money,
so
absolutely.
it was working man versus corporate there. And
Second to oil money.
yeah,
Energy drink money.
And the fact is, Leipzig has a huge roster with a lot of marquee name players that are very good. Spent oodles of money on them and continue to do so. Just bought Timo Werner back from Chelsea with a lot of money. And Union were the better team that day, and they looked better the whole time. And Pifok is lighting it up in a different league, like he was in the other league, with a different coach, unlike other Ricardo Pepi for Augsburg, who's, not to say that I'm a Pepi hater, but what pisses me off is how come this guy is the automatic call-up, but Sibachu is not.
Okay, so let's get to this discussion in about 5 minutes once we've finished our Bundesliga chat time, because there is something to talk about there, as we've mentioned before.
Absolutely. It's nothing against Pepe, and I think he'll be good. And honestly, playing for Augsburg, and he did get in for like 5 minutes for Augsburg, didn't really do anything, but he was there, waved, shook hands. Also, Gio Reyna had a small, quick run out for Dortmund as well. So it's good to see him back. But
he's got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy. So, but my
often injured.
Yeah.
Gio Reyna. He's still very young, though.
Yeah.
19, 20. He's still very young. He's going to be a good player. He just needs to stay healthy. Can we wrap him in bubble wrap and cotton wool until,
they're working on it,
until November?
They're working
Please, we need him if we have any hope of getting out of that group stage of the World Cup.
It would have a lot of depth to our
Absolutely.
So Pepe is one of those players, young players, who I think will come good. He's young, and he's in a big league and just needs time.
Well, Texas is a lot different, than Germany.
It is?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Anywho. Moving on. No, Frankfurt played Cologne, and both teams looked very well. Frankfurt's actually starting to look better this year, more like the Europa champions that they were, off to a very slow start. They're still sitting slow in the last game on the list. And yes, it's Bochum, and yes, it's Munich. However, last year, Bochum beat them 4-1 or 4-2. This year, Munich got the revenge and pounded them 7-0. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. If I were to tell you last year Munich scored, one was an own goal, okay? If I were to say, hey, Munich scored 6 goals, how many goals would have been coming from a single player, a single one, Landonowski, who's no longer there?
You would think that a majority of them.
Yeah, but like three.
Yeah, you would say minimum 3, yeah.
3 or 4. And this is why Munich is actually really scary. And this is why I think Munich is going to be really scary in the Champions League. And just pay attention now. You had, out of the 6 goals, you had 5 different goal scorers. You had Sané, you had De Ligt, you had Coman, you had Mane for 2, and Gnabry for 1. And these goals that are going in are not solo efforts.
Right.
You're talking about 3-4
team goals.
You're
Just
talking about
great
3-4 one-touch passes within the 18 before someone slams it home.
Who's the 9 for them?
Right now, Mane is playing the 9.
Yeah, Mane's playing high on the field, and I think he loves it because when he's been at Liverpool for the past couple of years, he's always pushed out wide. Wide left has been his position out there, but now he's playing the 9.
They alternate from Coman, who switches in and out. He drops in, they drop out. They alternate from Sané, drop it in. They alternate from Gnabry, dropping in.
They all can switch and play.
They all can switch, and that's what makes them deadly. They're passing and moving, and they're all quick, fast, deadly guys. And if you look again at Nagelsmann's system, you look again how Nagelsmann and why Timo Werner was so successful in Leipzig, is that's how he does it. And everyone was asking, like, oh, well, how's the 9 that you're going to replace? And I said there wasn't going to be one. This is evidence of it. And that's what makes him so dangerous. You could ping 2, 3, or call out players to cover a single forward. I don't know how you're going to cover all these guys moving around in the way they are.
Right.
So they're going to be very, very deadly in the Champions League, and they're not relying on a one guy to score all their goals. And if someone's in a slump, they got 4, right?
They also got some people on the bench, so if 1 or 2 go down injured, they got backups.
Right now, Jamal Musiala is tied for 3 for third, and he didn't even touch the field that game.
I'm telling you,
they have, right?
they're not only setting themselves up to win the Bundesliga easily,
League,
very easily.
Champions League will be
they're going after Champions League. They're absolutely 100% setting themselves up for Champions League.
And
They know where they failed last year.
That's where these buys go in for.
Yep.
That's why Nagelsmann was brought in. It was to do that.
Yep.
So
they are scary good.
They are
right now.
scary good.
Scary good. You said it last year. I don't want to say you're wrong, but they didn't win the Champions League.
No.
You and I both agreed at the time.
no, they got knocked out by Madrid, right?
Right.
The only team that won it, who knocked everyone else
Who
out.
knocked everybody else out.
I didn't
Just
see that. Yeah.
A team that went
So
on
they
a
lost to the
tear.
best.
That's a different Real Madrid team this year. I think Bayern Munich this year fully understand what's going on and will emphasize winning the Champions League. I think they may get it done. Right now, they could possibly be the number 1 team in the world. If you had to rank teams right now, I think they're going to be number 1. Holland with Man City has got to be close at number 2. So just depending on the week, it's going to be...
I find it funny that they don't spend nearly as much money as Man City, Bayern do, and
They buy smart, they buy right.
And
Just buy
done
smart.
consistently.
Yeah,
They just do better in Champions League every year.
Yeah.
And no, they don't all buy them from other Bundesliga teams. I don't think Sané came from the Bundesliga. I don't think De Ligt came from the Bundesliga.
I think some people just get tired of the EPL and they're like, I want to go somewhere else and do
Well,
something.
Brooks,
Where
imagine
I could be, I
you're a
could still do
player.
Champions League.
You're a scout. You're a player. If I were like, hey man, come play here, you're gonna win a trophy, and you're gonna go deep in the Champions League. Oh, and by the way,
You have all this stress on you, too.
and by the way, we take off a couple months in the winter, so you get a bit of break and you get a bit of rest. Tell me what type of
and
player
you get-
doesn't want that?
and you get to
Actually play the
spend-
bench players
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you get to spend Christmas and New Year's with your family
Yeah.
instead of having to train those days
Yeah.
and then play the day after, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
The one downfall of the EPL.
And again, so many people shit all over the Bundesliga, but it's a different league than the EPL. Just because you've been watching the EPL or watching a different league doesn't mean you can't enjoy
If
the
you want-
Bundesliga.
If you
There's
wanna
so much to
watch-
enjoy about it.
If you want to watch good team play, and I promised myself I wouldn't do this coming here. Like, I feel like I'm always having to defend it. Really, I don't give a shit. Don't watch it if you don't like it. Don't care. If you want to watch, though, good as a coach, as a player, I even tell my younger players, watch the Bundesliga for a minute, because you see a lot. You don't have the stars in the lower teams.
You have to do so much
and
more
they
work.
and they play more as a congealed team.
Yeah.
They
They
play
don't
more
rely on
team
players.
football. Absolutely.
You've actually hit upon a large point I was talking to 2 coaches about today.
Were they as smart as me? Smarter, probably.
Probably, I don't know them
Better
very well,
looking?
but most likely smarter. But you bring up a good point.
They're not as smart as me, though.
You bring up a really good point. Watching soccer. I don't care if you're watching MLS. I don't care if you're watching Bundesliga. I don't care if you're watching EPL, La Liga, Serie A, whatever it is.
You're in the
Young
DC.
players these days need to watch soccer. There's 1 or 2 players on my son's team, that's U10, you can tell these 2 kids watch soccer. They come up and talk to me about, hey, how did Liverpool do? Hey, how did Chelsea do? Hey, how's Man United going to do this weekend? And they just want to talk soccer. They're 9 years old. They're sitting down and watching soccer. Players these days need to watch soccer to see how the game is played properly. It doesn't happen enough.
2 things I always have in my start of the year discussions, evaluations with players. 2 things. 1, what is your favorite player?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, do you watch? And I always then piggyback that and I explain. Find the player you like in the position you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And just watch for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
You don't have to
Just
watch for an hour.
watch how they move.
Yep,
Watch how they move
what
without
do.
the ball.
And then go do whatever. You want to be a forward? Find a forward you like. Watch them for 5 minutes. Want to be a defender, midfielder? Watch him for 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's it.
I tell the kids watch a half because you can't 5 minutes. I mean, I know it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
is generic
I'm
response.
talking to like 10 and 12-year-olds there, Brooks.
I know.
That's a half
Yeah.
is like eternity.
But I know it is. But for someone like the 15, 16-year-old
that's
kids,
different.
they'll ask me questions. What do you do? Like, dude, if you don't want to watch a full 90-minute game, it's all right. Like, watch a half.
Yeah. The
Get through
older you are,
45.
the longer you should watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, and not enough kids are watching the sport these days. They think playing FIFA is watching, and that's not.
No.
But it is tough to watch the sport sometimes, right? Because there's not a lot of goals compared to basketball or football
So
or whatever.
do
you
them
wanna call it.
by 7.
But
So-
watch the sport because
Munich
you need
beat-
to learn how to play it.
Munich beat Barca by like 102.
Just watch Bayern Munich every week. You're bound to
Yeah,
see
that's a lot of goals
I
there.
just think
Do it
kids.
by 7.
I just think kids don't have appreciation. There's some people don't have appreciation of maybe like what we do was of, oh, they didn't score, so it's not good. Well, no. You can have a 2 or 1-0 game and have a very good game with the off-the-ball movement. Just a lot of great things happened in between with the defensive play.
Absolutely.
Or someone
Absolutely.
or a line stepped and they drew him off sides.
The-
Like there is so much little detail that people don't understand
best-
when they watch soccer.
The best analogy, it's not even soccer, it's all sports. Sports are boring if you don't understand the sport, and I don't care what it is.
That's true.
And I'll use a sport I can't stand is baseball. And I know there's people who love baseball. And I'll ask them what the hell. Shh, put your phone down.
Why?
I'll go, what do you like about it? And they'll start explaining things that like I don't care about. And truly, I don't understand the sport. If you don't understand the sport, then it's probably boring for you. And
Sure.
as soon as you understand it, then you learn to
But-
appreciate those things.
But if
and
your
those-
child is into the sport and you want them to get
Yes.
better, sure, you can take them to a training, like next
Yes.
level training. You can take them to practice. You can go outside in the yard with them. But sit down for an hour and watch a game. Saturday
overlooked.
morning, Sunday morning, Monday afternoon, there are games on television. Just watch the game with your child.
You can watch
That's all it
highlights
is.
nowadays,
Or just watch
too.
highlights.
YouTube.
There is ESPN
Yeah,
Plus.
absolutely.
Bundesliga highlights captures every game in 2 to 3 minute spats.
You're not
Like
wrong.
ESPN Plus has
You're not
MLS
wrong.
highlights too.
You're not wrong. And,
mostly never wrong.
well, you know what, Nate? We are going to wrap up Bundesliga chat time.
Oh wait,
Let's wrap it up. Get your last words
thing.
in. Get your
There's
last words
a
in.
sacred anniversary.
Oh yes.
Within
What's
the
what's
German
the
realm.
anniversary about? We've been texting about this. You told us
Big
it's
one.
something
A
big.
big one.
Tell us what's
Big
going
one.
on, my friend.
All major anniversaries. It's the 30-year anniversary of Fritz, the beloved Stuttgart mascot, Fritz the alligator.
Did you say
30
that-
years.
30
years. As you know, Stuttgart, with their vast array of alligators.
Okay. I know
Uh,
Germany had alligators.
yeah.
Shut up.
Yep.
Stuttgart, with the vast array of alligators, they have had Fritz, the alligator, as their mascot, beloved mascot. I joke about the alligators, doesn't it? But it is Fritz's 30-year anniversary as Stuttgart's mascot. Hooray for Fritz!
Are
Yay.
we?
Kind
Are
of
we?
looks like the Arsenal dinosaur a little bit.
Shut up.
I think we are gonna do the. I think we are gonna do a We Are Soccer
Yeah.
clap for Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz! Wherever you are.
Well done. All right. Well done on the Bundesliga chat time there, my friend. And that's going to move us on to the next segment, which Brooks is very much looking forward to.
Yes.
We're going to do MLS Roundup. All right, Brooks.
If you want a league that's really cool and in the U.S., it's MLS Roundup.
Born in the USA.
There will be a soundtrack to today's show available. I don't know where. All right, Brooks. What's going on in the MLS? Give us the weekly roundup. How's the league going? We did say earlier that games are there's only some of the teams have 9 games left, right?
Yeah, I mean,
There's not very many,
season's
so-
coming to a close. I mean, it's some teams may have 10 games in hand now, some have 9, 11. There's a couple of variants just depending on games were rescheduled for Open Cup reasons or weather delays and such like that. But no, it's the season's coming to an end, and it's crunch time. It's crunch time for a lot of those. For a lot of the teams, especially in the Eastern Conference, everything's really close in the Eastern Conference right now.
Why don't we pull up the league table here? As I
Yeah.
got to get rid of the EPL one, and then we'll bring up the MLS table. All right, what do we got, Brooks?
So, I mean, listen, for me, you look at that Eastern Conference table, And I mean, you have, Philly and Montreal. I mean, you have the top four there: Philly, Montreal, NYCFC, and New York Red Bull.
Pretty much all set in place there,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I mean, Orlando, maybe can catch them. I don't know if Miami, Columbus has had up and downs a little bit. So, so the Eastern Conference, I think, is very so much up for grabs, though, because you see, 8, 9, New England and Cincy at 34 points, Charlotte at 32. Does TFC make a run with Insigne and some other additions? I mean, listen, they were in the 13 to 14 area. Now they've jumped up, and everyone's close there. So it only takes a swing of a couple games.
It takes a couple wins, but they have not been playing well. But now they have Insigne there. It could actually help. I know he scored last night or the other night. He did very well. I got to say, I think we mentioned it last week. Again, Inter Miami at number 5.
Yes.
You and I, at the beginning of the season, thought, well, shit, they might not win any games. This could be a disaster of a season. Phil Neville could be in real trouble with them.
Exactly.
And now they're in 5th.
I know. So I highlighted 3 teams this week I wanted to talk
Oh,
about.
did I just snip you there?
All
right.
It's one of them.
Good.
So Inter Miami, right? So from their last 5, so top 7 in the East, last 5 matches, they've had 11 points in the last 5 matches, beating NYFC, TFC, and San Jose. Okay, so we're not gonna. San Jose is at the bottom of the Western Conference. TFC is still trying to figure things out, but that's not a bad win considering the additions they've made recently. Beating NYCFC, they've had some injuries. They're not the same as since they've sold Castellanos. But listen, tying Montreal and FC Cincy, 2 good ties to keep them in everything. Just to think about it though, you think the first 16 or so games from February to June. I mean, they were 21 points. So it's funny. I thought they were actually doing worse than they actually were, just because maybe I wasn't paying as close attention to them as I was to some other teams in the beginning of the season. But I mean, listen, 21 points from there, and then you get 15 points from the 4th to August 20th there. So it's been good. I mean, February, August schedule. I mean, they've beaten some teams in playoff contention right now. New England, Minnesota, New York City, NYRB, and then they've beaten the teams that they need to beat: the Seattles, the Atlantas, the Portlands, San Jose, Charlotte, TFC, and no one expected Seattle and Portland, honestly, and Atlanta maybe too to be towards the bottom of the conference tables.
Right.
So beating those teams. Doesn't matter where they're placed in the league standings or in the conference standings. Wins against those teams are always very good because Seattle and Portland are always tough, and same with Atlanta. So, props to Inter Miami for figuring things out, and obviously this year with the I don't know what you want to call the violations
The points,
they had.
didn't they have points deduction or something like that?
It
or?
wasn't points deduction, so they deducted how much money they can spend.
Oh,
on
that's
players.
right. It was how much they could spend on the salaries. Yeah,
so
yeah.
they didn't have much salary to spend on this year, and they had to get rid of guys because they had too many DPs. And funny, Pellegrini, who they had to get rid of, who was their 4th DP, is just now signing with NYCFC.
Right.
So, there you go. But so I mean, kudos to them. I mean, 10 wins, 10 losses, and 6 draws. You're tied with Orlando for 5th right now. That's not bad.
I mean, that's way ahead of where we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
Way ahead of where they thought they were going to be.
Yeah. So my second team I'd like to highlight here is the Montreal Impact. So we talked about them a lot last year at the end of the year.
Yep.
Playoff team right on the edge. I think they just missed it last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So Montreal, 46 points in 26 games. So that's top 5 in the East right now. 13 wins. 2 against FC Cincy, who are still in there in the 8 and 9 spot, could make the playoffs. NYRB looks like they're going to make the playoffs. Vancouver is on the line in the Western Conference, a team that I'm surprised. We're talking about all the Canadian teams. You think they'd be maybe down towards the Western Conference, but they've shown very well with their new head coach. Beating Atlanta, Orlando, Charlotte twice, TFC, DC United, beating Columbus, Houston, New England. So they've had some good wins, and they've had some good wins against good teams. And then don't forget, also, when they started the season off, they were in CONCACAF Champions League.
That's right.
There was a big focus on advancing in CONCACAF Champions League, and they started the season off 0-3-1. in the first month of like February and April or March. Yeah.
Yeah, they started off terrible.
It wasn't good, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Because they're playing well in Champions League, but they can't find a win in MLS. So and that happens sometimes when you're playing in those two competitions.
Correct.
So but if we look at the stats, just kind of league-wide stats for Montreal. So for goals amongst all teams, so LAFC number 1 at 55, and by the way, they have clinched a playoff spot right now. They're that far ahead in the Western Conference at the 1 spot. So it looks like they might win the Supporters' Shield, depending on what Philadelphia Union do.
Yep.
So anyways, total goals for most teams. LAFC 55. Austin tied with them at 55, which one heck of a season they've had because they were at the bottom of the Western Conference last year. Philadelphia Union 51. Oh, and Montreal 47.
Wow.
Goals, assist. Austin 57. Philadelphia 54. Montreal 50. FC Cincy 49. Goals inside the 18, which I think is a very valuable stat for me, honestly, is because obviously if you're getting penetrated behind the back line and you can find gaps and whip in balls, especially with guys like Kai Kamara, who was pretty much almost done with his career.
Sure.
And found it playing with Sierra Leone, and then Montreal wanted to sign him, and what a pickup he's been for them coming off the bench or filling in when they need to. Romeo Kyoto has been great, 14 goals and 4 assists in 24 games this year. Kai Kamara, 5 goals and 5 assists in 25 games. And then Georgi Mihailovic, the young U.S. domestic who's being linked to some European moves right now, 7 goals and 4 assists in 20 games played. So anyways, back to the goals inside the 18, though.
Love that stat, by the way. Absolutely love the stat, and you're highlighting that. That's excellent. Go ahead.
LAFC, 48 goals inside the 18. Austin, 48. Montreal, 46. Philadelphia, 46. So they're right up there with all the top teams in both conferences. So Montreal and Wilfried Nancy has done one hell of a job keeping Montreal together after that rough start, and then bringing in players. And if you look at the mixture of the team, it's very European, it's very Canadian, French, they have domestics. So he's got a lot of guys, little Spaniards, a little bit of everything. So he's done a good job of mixing players in that. So they have done extremely well. And I think they will be a very interesting team to watch
once they get into
the
playoffs. I'm really interested to know who your third team that you're about to highlight is. And I'm wondering, it might not be, but I'm wondering if it could be one of the 2 Texas teams who has – I mean, we were talking last year at the end of the season. All 3 Texas teams were in trouble, and they were terrible.
They were at the bottom of the Western
Conference. And if there was any relegation in MLS, they would have been gone.
Yes.
But 2 of those teams have really broke out. And as we see, Austin FC and FC Dallas is 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in the Western Conference. Now, those might not be the teams you were going to be highlighting, but that stands out to me. All right, tell us, who's your third team that you want to highlight?
It is FC Dallas.
Yeah, well, look at me.
It is.
Look at me guessing that. We did not have this conversation pre-recording here, so just picking up on what you're laying down and looking at the table. All right, go ahead and give it to us. What is up with FC Dallas? Third position in the league right now, in the Western Conference, sorry.
Well, besides losing 4-0 to Nashville.
Yes.
So let's, Nashville's tough. You're playing in Nashville, so that's not easy.
Yep.
But FC Dallas, 42 points in 28 games played now?
FC Dallas have played 27 games officially and have 42 points, plus 11 goal difference. Big difference than last year.
Huge. So, 11 wins this year against, so they beat Nashville earlier in the season, beating Portland, which, they've always had a good run against Portland, beating Colorado, Houston, you need to beat the teams inside your state. Seattle, LA Galaxy twice, who've been better this year.
Yep.
Orlando, who's been better. RSL have been finding their way. San Jose and Philadelphia. So beating the teams you need to, plus some top-tier teams. Okay? So then statistically, so for them, and they're not as high in the categories, but they're up there, but they've done a very good job not conceding a lot of goals. So 7 goals have come outside the 18 for them. That's tied for 5th in MLS. And then 32 of their 39 goals have come from inside the 18. That's tied for 9th in MLS. So they've done a good job as well with Jesus Ferreira getting inside the box, with Areola, and all the other front players to get inside the box to finish and convert. Okay, so back to some of the players. Jesus Ferreira, what a season he's having. 15 goals and 5 assists in 27 games played. For goals, that's 2nd overall in MLS. That's pretty good. And then we're going to talk about him a little later on our national team segment.
Which we're kind of running out of time here,
are.
so we may
So
have
I'm
to push that to
finishing up
next
here.
week. We may have to push that to next week because I want to get another segment in.
I'm
but
almost done though.
but let's finish up the MLS roundup because I'm sorry, it is super interesting, but
It is.
we will possibly push the U.S. men's national team forward debate to next week. I know Nate is very interested in that, and I don't know, he's running out of energy. Anyway, sorry. Back to let's finish up the MLS roundup. Sorry, bro.
So yeah, Paul Arriola, 9 goals and 4 assists in 26 games played. So what a pickup he's been for them, getting him from DC United. He has added a lot to that offensive attack, which they lacked a lot of. Last year they just couldn't score goals. They had trouble. And then Alan Velasco, the DP international they brought over last year. 4 goals and 6 assists, 22 games. He's been very effective. The stats don't show it, but he's changed the game a little bit. And then also now adding Sebastian Lletget.
Yeah.
And then having, hopefully, if he can come back and stay healthy, and is Paxton Pomykal, who was probably one of the youngest and brightest, American players we had for a while until he had a hip injury. So, yes, those are the 3 teams I highlight, and then we have a few games I have for this week coming up that I'm going to highlight as well.
Go ahead and give us the 3 games you advise us all to watch for the MLS this week. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, Friday, August 26th, Portland versus Seattle, 10 p.m.
Ooh,
On
yeah,
ESPN.
northwestern battle there, right?
Yeah,
Like teams of the north.
Cascadia rivalry.
Ooh, that's it. That's the words I was looking for.
I actually was at one of those.
You enjoyed it, right?
I loved it.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that had to.
fucking-
That's
it was an
like
awesome
bucket
game.
list item right there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a great.
All right,
game.
that's a good one. What else we
That was
got?
probably the best one of the week. So the second one I thought was interesting was FC Dallas versus RSL, 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus on Saturday.
Okay, that's a good one.
So why is it interesting?
I think because you see those teams competing. RSL is 5th, and then you have FC Dallas at 3rd. So RSL 38 points, Dallas at 42. So close in the standings matchup. Okay. So RSL doing a pretty good job.
Makes sense.
Pablo Mastroeni.
That makes sense.
And the last one for me, and these 2 teams are at the top of the Eastern Conference, giving Miami some love after I kind of talked poorly about them at the beginning of the season. 27th on Saturday of August, NYRB versus Inter Miami, 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus.
Is that one in Miami? Because I want to go to it. I don't. My wife will not let me do that, but that's okay. I still want to
In
go
New
there.
York.
Yeah, it's in New York.
Yeah.
It's closer. Still can't get to it.
Yes. No, those are my 3.
The great games to look forward to this week. Again, the MLS is coming to a close. They got about 9 to 10 games left, depending on the team. And as we just saw from the table, any of those teams can move up or down. I really want to see Nashville put it together and cement a playoff place. I think they need to get into the playoffs, and they need to prove a point because they have that brand new stadium this year.
Yes. Sitting at 6.
Yep.
36 points.
And
that was a big win tonight.
they need to put a few wins together there.
Yeah.
All right. One of my favorite segments that I've been looking forward to today. I don't know if he's ready, but Nate, you got a coffee review for us this week, my friends?
If it's late at night and you don't want to sleep, it's time to drink coffee with Nate.
I didn't think he could get his voice that high, but
Yeah.
there you go, folks. He did. All right, buddy. What coffee is Nate reviewing this week?
Well, I'm gonna kick it over to a homebrew kick that I've been going on, and if you know me, I love my iced coffees. And before you criticize it, let me explain that it has more coffee and more caffeine than regular coffee. So
Iced coffee has
yes,
more
it does.
coffee than regular.
Yes,
Okay, than warm coffee.
Yes,
I did not.
yes.
I personally did not know that.
Yes, because what happens is you let the beans steep into the water, releasing more of the caffeinated oils. You didn't know I knew so much about this crap, did you? Boom!
And this is why we've put you on coffee reviews.
So if you do it right, you have a richer, more full-bodied coffee with higher caffeine. If you do it wrong, like, I don't know, Tim Hortons, you have a watered-down shitbird.
So you go to the bathroom quicker with iced coffee?
Oh, you do.
Is
It's
that what the
great.
moral of
It's
the story
great.
is?
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. But I also like colder drinks and it's refreshing. So
Yes.
I've been steeping various Black Rifle coffees.
okay,
Sounds
black,
dangerous.
Yeah.
black
Black
rifle,
Rifle.
and that's
Yep.
from right here in the great state of Michigan.
No.
Ooh, ooh.
I'm not sure where they're out of actually. I don't
Oh,
think-
you didn't think I was going to ask that question, did you?
let me do this thing called the internet.
I'm gonna visit my friend Google and find that. Okay.
Hold, please.
Well, tell us what you like about Black Rifle.
So-
Is it just a regular blend? What is it? I'm
Oh,
sure you don't drink
thank
decaf. I'm assuming.
No.
No.
No, I would not. That's just stop. Anywho, me, richer, better, darker, more caffeinated, the better. And my go-to has been their Black Ops. I recently, though, the one I'm reviewing today is one I just happened to crack open today, which is called Blackbeard's Delight.
Blackbeard's Delight by Black Rifle Coffee.
Oh, yeah. It's part of
like
their
the
dark
name.
roast. Blackbeard's Delight. I think it's one of their newer roasts. And it's good. If you like dark roast, it's full body. If you're like me and you want to put it in water, and more on how I maybe make iced coffee later for a different time, very particular on it.
I actually would love to see a breakdown of how you make iced coffee.
I make
I'm
it's
clueless.
solid, but it's not. It's also a hot coffee brew. So if you're into the hot coffee, it comes ground and it comes in beans, and it's one of the more enjoyable full body dark roasts that I've had out of Black Rifle. If you're not a dark roast fan, I got this Fit coffee because I thought it was, it had weights on it. And I like to lift weights.
That sounds like something Nate
So I
would
went, I'm going to
do.
buy this.
It's an honest mistake by Nate.
Yeah, so
That's
that's more of a medium roast. It was good. It's full-bodied. It's not for me because I want caffeine punched straight into my face.
Oh, Salt Lake City, Utah.
There you go.
That's in with the RSL stuff.
There you go. I inadverted. I meant to do this on purpose. This was all.
Good
I
segue
wanted
there,
you.
boys. Great segue
I wanted
there.
you to reveal it. I knew it was Salt Lake City all the time. Come on. You kidding me?
Founded by a bunch of military guys. This is actually interesting. They have an
Founded by a bunch of
interesting
military guys.
Yeah.
Black Rifle. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. I love it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you buy it locally? Do you
I order
it online?
I order it online through their site, and it's a very good. I'm part of one of their members. Part of the members.
There's a membership.
club.
Are you like a monthly membership? type
No,
thing?
so I don't buy it regularly monthly. I just do my regular orders. Got on my little account, but if you're on that, you gain points, and with points you get free shit, and I love free shit. By the way, they got some cool ass shirts, and I bought some like high and tight Ranger pants that kind of show off the little calves, and it's really nice. Or not calves, but quads, if you will. If you got good quads like me because you work out, highly recommend those as well. But
You work out?
No,
No.
I just drink coffee.
Just coffee.
But yeah, I'd give a Black Rifle absolutely a shot, especially if you like the darker stuff.
All right. So I'm gonna ask a question here. We'll probably do this every week.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
All right, really? Nice.
Yeah.
All right, out of
Brooks
five, five being the greatest, one being like as you called the Tim Hortons shit brew.
So-
give me where you will find like
This is
where's
including all
Black
iced
Rifle?
coffee, right? This is including all iced coffee. Like
Yeah, I mean just the Nates 1 through 5, 5 being the best.
There's a differentiation from being able to brew it at home with this is a home brew
Yeah.
versus buying at the store. Is I'm including the buy at the store or only home brew? I'll do both. So at home, because we're complicating this. At home, it's so far the best home brewed coffee I've come across. Period.
The best, bar none.
Bar none. Period.
Well, that's a high
For
high praise
homebrew.
right there, my friend.
For all, which includes going to a store, meaning buying one already pre-made from the store, I'd put it third.
Third. And out
Put
of
it
5
third out of second. Third to second. There's one company that beats them, slightly nudges them. But then if you're talking value,
don't mention that company. Yeah,
if
we'll
you're
do another
talking
review of them.
value, then it's all on your metrics. But
Okay.
yes, I am very happy with the company. I've actually been buying a lot of this stuff from them and using a particular iced coffee maker that I got from Amazon.com to make my stuff.
Iced coffee maker from Amazon?
Oh yeah.
I actually had no idea.
It's
that
a
was-
science, baby.
I
And I know
No
the
idea.
science so well.
I was like, all right.
I know the science so well that the way
it
they
make
told
frappuccinos?
you, no, the way they told you, how dare you? The way they told, coffee is with nothing but coffee in it. Get your mocha froca jabber out of here.
I'm sorry. I like that stuff.
Jesus, it's black. Nothing else.
You don't put anything else in your coffee?
No!
Just have it straight.
Really?
Straight
I
black?
For my coffee.
No, I actually do less. I had Korean coffee. You guys know what that is? That stuff is darker than night, okay? And they're like,
The Guinness of coffee?
it is worse than that. And they were like, oh, this traditionally comes with milk. And I said, no milk. And they looked at me like a psychopath. And I said, no milk, and in fact, double, baby. And they were like, holy crap. And yeah, I was actually like zinging that day. But anywho, nonetheless. Now that everyone's like looking up Korean coffee, going, oh my god.
They absolutely are doing that right now.
Yeah, they're like,
I
what is
am.
that? And no, everyone clicked off long ago. Anyways, Black Rifle, good stuff. I would highly recommend it. No, and yeah, they.
I like Big
Love it.
We're done with this segment.
Absolutely love it. And we will follow it up next week with more coffee reviews by Nate. All right, boys, it is time to end We Are Soccer this week. We want to thank everybody who was commenting along, who liked and shared. And if you didn't, shame on you. Shame on you.
Yeah,
because
the comments died out. We need more towards the end, guys.
That's all right. That's all right. If you missed any of the segments, we'll clip them out and post them again. If you're new to the show, be sure to join our Facebook group. We've got a lot of discussions every day. We post the news, we talk, we have good people in there. So be sure to join. Do me a huge favor, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you can to help. We would appreciate it. Go ahead and visit some of our friends and sponsors. Our friends are Total Soccer in the Detroit, Michigan area. We've got a lot of other friends we've mentioned throughout the show. Be sure to go ahead and like and share their stuff. We would very much appreciate it. And as I said, that'll do it. So from the boys, Nate and Brooks at the kids table, that'll wrap us up. Adios and good night. Cheers.